the Grimdark universe of Warhammer 40,000, there are genetically engineered super soldiers, ancient alien races, cosmic horrors beyond comprehension, literal demons crawling out of hell. And then there is a regular man with a rifle. What chance does that man have? Most people laugh at the Imperial Guard. They call their armor cardboard, their rifles flashlights. They say their only tactic is throwing bodies at the enemy until the enemy runs out of bullets. But behind all that mockery lies the largest, most powerful, and most terrifying military force this galaxy has ever seen. Today, we talk about why the Imperial Guard, the Emperor's hammer, is the most awe-inspiring army in the 41st millennium. Before we get into it, like and subscribe. It helps more than you know. The Guard's roots go back to the Unification Wars on Terra, where the Emperor first forged humanity into a single iron fist. From those wars came the Imperial Army, the first great human military force of the Imperium. But then came the Horus Heresy. Half of the Space Marines turned traitor, and they dragged vast portions of the human army down with them. It was a catastrophe that nearly destroyed everything. So Robute Guilliman enacted sweeping reforms. The army was split into the Imperial Guard and the Imperial Navy. More importantly, the Guard was broken into small, specialized regiments. Some only infantry, some only tanks, some only artillery. No single commander could ever again hold enough power to threaten the entire Imperium. Cold, calculated, genius. Now let's talk numbers. We are not talking thousands, not millions, not billions. Trillions of soldiers drawn from 1 million worlds, each with their own culture and their own way of dying for the Emperor. Yes, Space Marines are the icons of Warhammer 40,000. But compared to the Guard, they are a single drop in an ocean. Guardsmen outnumber Space Marines by millions to one. If the Space Marines disappeared tomorrow, the Imperium would hurt. But if the Imperial Guard disappeared tomorrow, the Imperium falls. Full stop. The Guard doesn't win through elegance or brilliant strategy. They win by making resistance mathematically impossible, burying the enemy under soldiers, tanks, and artillery shells until nothing is left standing. Now, the flashlight problem. The las gun is deliberately simple, and that's not a weakness, that's a feature. It works in a vacuum, underwater, in the frozen void of space. It never jams. Its power cells can be recharged over a campfire. One shot might seem weak, but 300 million las guns firing at the same target? Nothing survives that. Behind the infantry come the Lehman Russ tanks, unchanged for 10,000 years because they don't need to change. Then the Baneblade, a super heavy tank that is essentially a mobile fortress. And when things get truly serious, the Basilisk and Manticore artillery platforms erase targets from dozens of kilometers away. Last resort, the Deathstrike missile, nuclear warhead, crater where the battlefield used to be. Reliability, mass production. The machine never stops. Imagine you're 16, living in the lower levels of a Hive city. It's a Tuesday. Tithe collectors show up. They need warm bodies. Congratulations, you're in the Guard now. 3 weeks of training. You learn to shoot, dig a trench, march, and obey without question. Then you're on a battlefield. Promotions happen one way. The person above you dies, and that's your job now. You eat corpse starch, recycled from dead bodies. Nobody talks about the taste. And always standing behind you is a commissar. Retreat without orders? Show cowardice? He doesn't give second chances. Just a bolt round to the back of the skull. Brutal, yes, but that fear is what keeps the line holding when everything else breaks. The Guard draws from a million worlds. The Cadians are born next to the Eye of Terror, the galaxy's greatest gateway for chaos. When Cadia itself was shattered, the soldiers didn't break. The planet broke. The Guard did not. The death corps of Krieg have turned dying for the Emperor into a religion. They charge into artillery barrages with bayonets fixed and call it a warm-up. The Catachan jungle fighters grow up on a death world where even the plants want to kill you. The Elysians drop directly into the heart of battle via grav chutes, cool as ice. 1,000,000 worlds, 1,000,000 ways to fight. One Imperium. So, do you still think the Imperial Guard is a joke? What makes them truly terrifying isn't the tanks or the artillery. It's that they are just human. No genetic modification, no ancient magic. Just ordinary people standing in front of impossible horrors. And fighting anyway. A soldier who bayonets a demon, knowing he will probably die. He's braver than any super soldier engineered to feel no fear. Other factions win wars with ancient artifacts and psychic powers. The Imperial Guard wins with mud, blood, and defiance. So the next time someone calls them flashlight soldiers, remind them what happens when 300 million flashlights fire at once. The Emperor protects. Which regiment is your favorite? Drop it in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hold the line. See you in the next one.